Subtropic tan, the Florida story. If you live north of the Mason-Dixon line, you've probably dreamed about moving south and finding a place on the beach, at least during the winter months. Sitting in a Chase lounge, sipping a drink with an umbrella. It beats shoveling snow for almost everyone. However, there is another side to Florida that most tourists never see. But I experienced a tropical stay many years ago that was anything but idyllic. Our move to Florida was one of those crazy times when Dad decided to pack everyone in the car and head out without any employment, money, or plans. Somehow, he convinced Uncle Larry and his family to come along, so we had 2 cars, a truck and a Volkswagen Beetle in our caravan, and we were headed to the promised land to strike it rich. The sad truth was that we were totally unprepared for the reality of Florida. The drive itself was exhausting, and when we finally made it to Florida, we went from town to town looking for work. With no money, we ended up living in the worst trailer parks in the world with no air conditioning and roaches the size of your foot. None of us were ready for the Florida heat and humidity, but it hit Dad worst of all because he did construction work and roofing. As a result, we ended up living in several different towns while Dad searched for work that was a little less brutal than construction. One of those towns was Daytona Beach. When most people hear Daytona Beach, they think, Daytona Beach. It was never that way for us. We never stayed at the great hotels and resorts that the city had to offer. We ended up in a ramshackle trailer in a dismal trailer park. Dad was drinking because he was angry about his life and the poor choices he'd made. While he was partying, Mom would be home alone with us, and dangerous people were doing dangerous things right outside our door. Sometimes the danger came inside, as it did when the night Dad came home drunk and hit Mom. She called the abuse hotline, and we ended up at a shelter for a while. I don't know how long we were at the shelter, but eventually we ended up back at the trailer park. We might not have stayed at the resorts on the beach, but late at night we were close enough to see the bright lights and listen to the ads for SubTropic's suntan oil that blared from the tourist radios. You could even smell the scent of suntan oil in the air, and I knew I was close to something really cool. I want to go back there and enjoy Daytona Beach in a way I never could as a child. I can do that now because I developed a plan. It is really hard to build a life if you don't have a plan. It's not just going to happen for you. I'm teaching my kids that success is a combination of hard work, planning, and time. That's what really makes a life.